Good morning from New Zealand. It's Saturday morning here. Another lovely cloudy day as we come into summer. Taking a quick moment while the baby's sleeping to record another video. Hopefully she stays down for a little bit longer. And I want to show you an edit on my iPhone. I do most of my work now on my MacBook Pro, especially when it comes to my cinemagraphs. I'm using Cinemagraph Pro by Flixel. But what I used to love to do was edit all on my phone while I was still on Windows. And I used to do a lot of my editing on my iPhone, but color grading my footage was something I always struggled to find the perfect solution for. Cinemagraph Pro now actually has some really nice color looks in it, but I used to love playing with VSCO for my stills photography, and I always wished that there was a way to actually do it for my videos within the app, and I've been waiting for a long time for that to be available, and finally this week it's become available. So I want to show you how I use it on a video, grading it on my phone, sending it to Cinemagraph Pro by Flixel, the app, and editing it there for its final output. So let's have a look, let's get into it. So see my messy iPhone screen, go into the VSCO app. Now what's different in here is once you come in, once you're in the studio, you now have this video tab. So besides my swimming photos from the baby swimming lesson this morning, I want to open up this shot which I got during the summer. We had a holiday over in San Francisco, and I got some really cool shots in Sonoma out amongst the vineyards. So this shot here, you'll see I walk into the shot, hold the pose against the fence, and then I walk out again. So there's a couple of seconds at the beginning of this clip where I'm going to use the grass kind of drifting back and forth as a loop with me standing there still in the frame. So let's see, we've got the video here, and of course as is typical in VSCO, you've got all these different filters, black and white, color looks, and when you unlock this app by paying $19 a year, which you have to do at this stage to get the early access to video grading, I think it's totally worth it, especially when you get all these different color looks. I guess you could say they're LUTs, but they're built into the app. I particularly like these C2, C3 looks, something like this here. If you tap on the screen, you can see it before and after. That actually creates really quite a nice look. It's bringing out some nice orange in that grass. Let's have a look at some of these other ones. That's quite nice as well. It's bringing out the orange in that grass, and the blue in the sky. You see when I come back into the shot. That's actually quite nice. So I'm going to go with that one. What you can also then do is tap on it to sort of bring it back if you think that it's just slightly too saturated. That's actually not bad. I might bring it back just a little touch. And then you also have all these controls for exposure, brightness, contrast, and what I particularly like is the ability to play with skin tones, which actually starts to bring out, see even in the grass there, it's starting to bring a little bit more magenta, a little bit more pink back into it, which can really help just to kind of get some nice natural skin tones back in. And your shadows, of course, you can start bringing up shadows a bit, and your highlights, saving a bit of highlight can be quite nice. I might just leave a little bit of that saved, 2.3, and if you wanted any extra contrast, I think it's pretty good as it is actually, I might leave that. And that's already really quite a nice look, so it's actually as simple as that to get these really beautiful looks. You know, you've got so many others in here. I mean, literally, if you flick through, there's so many different color looks. If you let them all load up, lots of really nice black and white ones. It's incredible what you can actually do with this. So let's export it out, save it. Now one thing I did find with this, I've got my phone plugged in at this stage, so I can record it onto my Mac, the screencast, but when it wasn't plugged in, it was chewing through a lot of my battery. Honestly, a 4K file, it was about 30 seconds long that I was outputting using this app as it is now. It took about 20% of my battery life. That might just be a bug because it's still really in beta. It's an early release, but do plug your phone in if you don't want to kill it. The first day I played with it on about 4 different videos and got down to 1% and then died. So let's let that output, and I'm finding the quality of what it's actually outputting is really amazing. Where you've got a sky with a real gradation of tone. I didn't see any banding in the grade. I did find a little bit of banding in the colors on another shot I did, some of the highlights. start to band a little bit, but that's when I think I pushed the saturation probably a bit too far. Okay, here we go, that's saved to camera roll, so let's just actually load it up in the camera roll and have a quick look at it. Here we go, so walking back into the shot. Yeah, I really like that. I mean, it's got some beautiful saturation, some nice, slightly vintage film looks to it. So, happy with that. Let's take it into Cinemagraph Pro by Flixel. Now, I used to do all my editing this way on the iPhone before I moved entirely to Mac. So what you do is you go into your documents, got all my other ones, these are all loaded by iCloud, so I have them all sitting in iCloud. So a lot of the projects I've worked on in the past, both on my iPhone and on my Mac, are synced via iCloud. And that's one of the cool things. When you save something, and I've shown this in a previous tutorial, where you save something on your Mac, you can select Optimize for iOS. It means that you can then bring it in onto your phone through iCloud, and it'll have an iOS optimized version. So for this one here, you see I've already got a version I did there, but I'm going to bring it back in again. So from my camera roll, I'm just going to bring in this. I'm going to leave the whole trim available there because it's not a really long clip, and import that in. While that's exporting, I just want to tell you about a really cool competition which has just launched with Flixel and Getty Images. Epic, I mean, Getty Images are famous as. So get on there and have a look at what you have to do. It's basically lifestyle cinemagraphs. You can upload 15 as part of the competition right through to the 31st of December. It's open. Amazing prizes, including a beautiful Fuji camera, subscriptions to Cinemagraph Pro, as well as an invitation to become a Getty Images contributor if you want to do that. Really amazing prizes, so check it out. I'm going to enter and see if I can win. Okay, so now that's opened up. As you've probably seen in my other videos for the Cinemagraph Pro software on Mac, it's fairly similar in here. You've got your controls for your timeline, including your loop, your crossfade, delay, speed, still image where you can import, export. So on the trim here, of course, you've only got 10 seconds that you can use. I want to select an area which is literally just the grass waving back and forth. So I'm going to take that right back to where I'm not even in the frame, and we're going to have just that grass looping back and forth. The still handle is where we're going to select what frame is going to be the still image that is unmasked in the foreground. Okay, so then we get into the actual masking. So with the brush, you've got, of course, your same controls that you have in Cinemagraph Pro for Mac, hardness, opacity. You can show the overlay. In fact, you can show different overlay colors depending on what your image is. It might be easier to see. At this stage, we can see the overlay here if we just tap on the screen. So the brush size, I'm going to keep it as is for now. In fact, I might just make it a little bit bigger to start brushing. Select brush, not eraser, and start brushing over. And remember what you're seeing with a Cinemagraph in Cinemagraph Pro with Flixel is basically a still photo over the top of a video. So as you start masking, you're just revealing the video behind the still. Unlike in Photoshop or After Effects, you can actually see the layers. So that's an easy way to think of it. So I'm just coming in here then and just doing a rough kind of mask around the edges. We start then getting into a little bit closer to the body, and after that I'll actually start zooming in, and I'll probably bring the size back down again. I might just make this a little bit softer so that as I start masking in around here, we can't see too much. Now you might have heard the babies awake in the background there, so I'm going to have to rush this one through, but hey, it's a great example of why a quick Cinemagraph edit in iOS is sometimes what you need, and this really isn't going to take too long. Once you get started, might even take this brush size up a bit, take the hardness down a little bit, because I actually don't need it to be too sharp and around these edges. The way this grass moves in the background, if it was water, I would probably have to be a bit more detailed, but you can't even see the grass in some of these areas. So up around the shirt here, for example, hey, I could even trim my tummy down, make me a bit slimmer because, except for the fence, how that fence has shifted a bit, we don't need to be too exact because there's not really any grass moving there. Likewise, coming in around here, there's actually no grass there, so I'm not even going to come right to the edge of the arm. Around here, the fence shifted a bit and there's a bit of grass coming in there, so I'll come around there. Hey, let's slim down my arse a bit, shall we? There we go. And coming down around here, around the trousers. Now this is where we do want to get in a bit closer because there is actually grass moving right there up against the edge of the trousers. I'll try and just bump it around so it's a bit like the, bring the size down a little bit. We can get a little bit more into the groove of jeans. Groovy jeans indeed. Alright. There we go. That is pretty much done. Now if we just tap on here, we can see the mask, and we release our finger, we can see the mask on and off, and it's pretty good. You know, those edges are looking quite good, and you can see the grass moving in behind it, it's looking quite natural. I love the fact you can zoom right in like this on iOS, just as you can see here with a bit of a pinch on the fingers. That really makes it so easy. Actually, here we go, we want to just get in around the jeans here because we can see that fence line is coming. And likewise here, there we go. And it's looking pretty good. Alright, so let's zoom out, have a look at that. That's looking pretty good. Now let's just look at the actual loop, what's happening with this loop, because I'm not sure if the grass is feeling so natural here. See, it's jumping a bit. So it's currently on repeat, and its crossfade is 10.11. So we could either make this a much bigger crossfade, and it's going to loop it more naturally back in on itself, or we can go with a bounce. So rather than looping around as a crossfade, we can bounce it back and forth, which for grass actually works quite well. So we change that to a bounce. Let's see how that looks. It's a bit stuttery because I'm recording the screen, but yeah, that's looking more natural, I think. If it's bouncing back and forth, it suits the movement of grass. So I'm pretty happy with that. You do have presets here in the iOS app, which I'm not going to use because I've just done VSCO. Cinemagraph Pro has a great set of presets. It never used to have that, but it now is up to date with the Mac version. But VSCO has just such a huge range, and they have particular color looks which they specialize in. So I'm going to export this now. Of course, on iOS we have a few options here which you don't get on Mac, like live photo. You can actually save a Cinemagraph as a live photo to your iPhone and set that as your lock screen. Something that a lot of people don't realize you can do, so that when you actually hold your finger down your lock screen, your image will animate as a Cinemagraph. It's a really cool feature, so definitely worth trying that. So once that's finished rendering, it's not a long file, it's probably only about 4 or 5 seconds, as we'll see now. Yep, it's a 5-second loop, so if we want to take that up in iOS, it actually gives you really good little guidelines as to what length loop you need. Facebook, let's do that, up to as close to 30 seconds as possible, and we'll save that. And of course from here you can also upload to your Facebook profile video, as well as to a Facebook ad upload directly from the app, which is really cool. Let's just speed up that render a little bit. It's only going to take about 30 seconds, but let's make that about 10. So here we go, it's finished exporting. So now we can save to photo library, and that's done. So let's just load it up from the photo library and have a watch and make sure that that loop is running nice and clean. Here we go. That's looking pretty good. I quite like that. So there you have it. Mobile edit, really quick and simple. It's amazing what you can do on a mobile phone nowadays. It looks like the baby's just woken up, so I better get back to my weekend. Let me know what you think, have a play with that, see what you can do. I'll see you again next time.